Hey guys, this is Mr. Kidd with your homework help for September the 15th. To recap what we did in class today, we found out that our place value system is broken into periods or sections. The first period here that we have is called our ones or units. The second section here is called our thousands. And the next period over is called our millions. Okay. Okay, so these are our periods names or our sections names. Now, if you remember today, each of these sections is made up of 3 place values in the section. And if you remember, each place value we have that pertains to that particular section. So for this first place value here, we would have ones. The next place value over tens. The next place value, hundreds. And even though that we have different amounts in the place value, we all are counting based on that unit of ones. When we go past that first comma, now we get into our next place value, which is thousands. Thousands, and then the next would be 10,000s. So we'd have the 10,000s place here. And then, of course, 100,000s. So, but all of those are thousands. So you can see why this is called the thousands period or section, because this whole section is counting groups of thousands. Okay? And then last but not least, we have the millions. Okay? And then of course we would have here, we would have 10 millions. And you've probably already seen a pattern here with this, that in each section, has that name throughout, millions. So you can see why this is called the millions period, because millions, 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 okay? And all these are counting by ones here. Even though you don't hear the ones, we know we've grouped ones together. So the other thing you should have noticed is that in each place value that you see or hear, the same pattern through each period. You hear ones, tens, hundreds, 1,000s, 10,000s, 100,000s, 1 millions, 10 millions, 100 millions. So you hear it, that's the beauty of our system, is it's the same pattern, ones, tens, hundreds. If you know the section, then you know you're talking about 1 tens and hundreds ones, or 1 tens and hundreds thousands, or 1 million, 10 million, 100 millions. If knowing that, then you can easily pick out your place values. So how is this going to help you with your homework? Well, let's take a look at number 6 with the question that says, write the place name and the value of each digit in the following numbers. So if we wrote this number, 24, comma, 657 983. Okay, so now we can see the two commas. So we know that this is in the million section. So we say that number just as if it was by itself. So we would call this 24 million. And then the next section, which is thousands, 657,000. And then, of course, the last section, which is ones, which we don't say ones after because it's kind of understood. We say 983. So I would read this 24,657,983. So if we were naming the place name and the value of each digit in the following number, which is this number that we just read. So let's take a look at this. So what is the place name of that? This is the ones place, okay, and 3 ones. So if we were counting, remember the digit tells us how many to count. The place value tells me what we're counting by. So if I counted by ones 3 times, that'd be 1, 2, 3. So the value of this 3 is 3. If we go to the next digit, 8, it is in the tens spot. It's the next place over. So it's in the tens place, and if I have 8 tens, that means I've got to count 10 8 times. So that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. So the value of this 8 is 80. The next one, 9, is in the hundreds place. Of course, we're counting by hundreds now, and we need to count 9 of them, which would equal to 900. Now we're going to the next period, which is the thousands period. So now we have the 7, which is in the thousands place. So we're counting by 1,000 7 times. So the value of that would be 7,000. So let's go to the 5. The 5 is in the 10,000s, and so we're counting 5 10,000s. So let's count them out together. 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 50,000. So this is worth 50,000. The 6 is in the 100,000s place. So the 6 tells us that we need to count 6 of the 100,000. So let's do that together. 100,000, 200,000, 300,000, 400,000, 500,000, 600,000. So the value of the 6 is 600,000. Okay. So now we're still not done. Let's go. Now we're in the millions. There's another comma. So we're in the millions. So this 4 is worth what? It's in the millions. So 4 millions. So 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, 4 million. So this is worth 4 million. And last but not least, this 2 is in the 10 millions spot. So this would equal 2 10 million. So count 10 millions with me. 10 million, 20 million. So this would be 20 million. Okay. So here's a good example of the place value and the place name, which is very important. So as you go through these questions, think about where the digit is, the value it has, and how it compares to the other values. Good luck, and if you have any questions, make sure that you ask me tomorrow.